It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
It's time for today's Lucky Land horoscope with Victoria Cash.
Life's gotten mundane, so shake up the daily routine and be adventurous with a trip to Lucky Land. You know what they say. Your chance to win starts with a spin. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com to play over 100 social casino-style games for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Get lucky today at LuckyLandSlots.com.
Available to players in the U.S., excluding Washington and Michigan. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
In the spirit of reconciliation, the Theatre Thoughts podcast acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respects to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all traditional custodians of the land on which our episodes are recorded.
We found that the people who use the app, we had a group who didn't have the app and a group who did have the app.
Right.
And the group who did have the app over the 4-week trial found that they had a significant increase in feelings of vitality, that's like positive energy, and a significant decrease in their perceptions of daily hassles, and a 50% increase in their feelings of calmness and contentment. So we have been thrilled with that, and they were thrilled with that, so much so that has now been released in a journal, in a peer-reviewed journal piece for the JMIR, which is the Journal of Internet Medical Research.
Welcome back to a new episode of the Theatre Thoughts podcast, hosted by myself, Justin Clarke, and featuring an array of Australia's best and brightest in the theatre industry and beyond. You can get full access to the podcast by signing up to our monthly email and joining the Theatre Thoughts Patreon community for as little as $3 a month. All the details can be found by heading over to our Instagram account at TheatreThoughtsAUS or our official podcast Instagram at TTPod_official. Let us know what you think of this episode by giving us a rating wherever you get your podcasts. Welcome everyone to a very special episode of the Theatre Thoughts podcast. I'm joined by one of Australia's leading ladies of stage and screen. Her live performances include singing national anthems for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, as well as regular appearances on Channel 9's Carols by Candlelight and Channel 7's Carols in the Domain. She currently features in A Perfect Pairing with Netflix, which was the #1 most viewed Netflix film globally in the months of May and June in 2022. She has been a judge on Australia's Got Talent, starred in Neighbours and Doctor Doctor on screen. On stage, she's known for her role as Glinda in Wicked, Princess Fiona in Shrek, and Elle Woods in Legally Blonde the Musical. It's Lucy Durack! Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Justin. Lovely to chat.
Yeah, definitely. And so we're jumping on today to chat about Hey Lemonade, which I'm very excited to chat about because you guys are right in the midst of... is it the new update from the CSIRO?
Yeah, so Hey Lemonade, for anyone who isn't familiar with it yet, is a pep talk app. We're a stress and motivation management tool. And Elise McCann, my business partner, and I started working on it as a bit of a silver lining to COVID when, you know, in 2020, we, like everybody, had been handed a few lemons. Elise had been working in New York for Sarah Jessica Parker's company, and she had to come home to look after her mum who was going through cancer treatment, and she's done really well. She's come through it really with flying colours, which is brilliant. And amazing. I was playing Princess Fiona in Shrek. We had just started our Melbourne season at the Maj, and of course all theatre was shut down kind of overnight. And my husband and I both work in the entertainment industry. We've got 2 little children, so Elise and I were both looking for additional support for the things that weren't serious, but were serious to us. And we had turned to like the meditation and wellness apps, and but we're overall finding that we weren't sure if we were doing it right. I was sort of changing nappies or making lunches or vacuuming with my headphones in, doing these Deepak Chopra meditations, thinking, I'm pretty sure I'm meant to be sitting with my eyes closed and I'm doing it wrong. And I didn't always, we both had been chatting about saying, oh, we didn't always resonate with the voice that the talks were offered in, and we were finding them a little bit woo-woo at times, but overall we're finding that they were requiring large amounts of time that neither of us really had. Even in a pandemic, there was a lot to get done each day.
Yeah, definitely.
And so because we were already on the apps, we turned to the apps. We're like, surely somebody has got to short, sharp pep talks that are pragmatic and kind of can help us pull it together or get through, nip a small stress in the bud before it becomes bigger. And we'd gone for a walk and had a chat, and we're like, see, this is really what you need. You just need like a quick chat with a friend, preferably a friend who's got like a science or psychology degree, and who can just sort of calm you down and nip that stress in the bud before you kind of spiral out of control. And we're like, surely somebody's done this, and they hadn't. And that's how Hey Lemonade kind of began. And since then, we've had, an amazing time where we've learnt so much. And we now have this wonderful app with hundreds of talks in it that are written by professional writers, brilliant writers who are screenwriters and authors and political speech writers and journalists. And they're all overseen by our team of psychologists. So everything's psychologically sound. And as you mentioned before, and all of the talks are about specific issues. So they're things, everyday kind of issues everyday stresses that we all face. Things like when you're feeling blur, when you're feeling FOMO, when you're feeling lonely, if you need a G up before a big meeting, if you have public speaking jitters, there's all sorts of sort of relationship, workplace, family stresses. And then every talk is offered in, and every talk's just 3 to 4 minutes, and it's they're all offered in at least 3 different voices. So you choose how you best hear your support. So you might want to hear from, ex AFL footballer and now journalist Tony Armstrong, or you might want a vocal cuddle from somebody like Maggie Beer. We also have Benjamin Law, Jamila Rizvi, Zinzia Kenyo, a wonderful guy called Chief Brabon, who's an ex-army trainer, in case you need a bit of a kick into action, but he also has a heart of gold. Elise and I are also voices, and there's also really short versions that we've edited down that are recorded by a real-life 6-year-old, in case you just want that kind of really earnest, honest child giving you a pep talk. And like you mentioned, we had thought, look, it's not worth doing this unless we know that it works, that it's actually genuinely helpful. And so we went that step further, and we were the recipients of a research grant with the CSIRO, and we worked with a brilliant team of scientists there and had fantastic results. We found that the people who used the app, we had a group who didn't have the app and a group who did have the app.
Right.
And the group who did have the app over the 4-week trial found that they had a significant increase in feelings of vitality, that's like positive energy, and a decrease in their perceptions of daily hassles, and a 50% increase in their feelings of calmness and contentment. So we have been thrilled with that, and they were thrilled with that, so much so that has now been released in a peer-reviewed journal piece for the JMIR, which is the Journal of Internet Medical Research.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Which we're absolutely thrilled by. Thank you. Yeah, we're excited. It's been an incredible journey, and Elise is so brilliant. And I feel really like we work really well together. And we have a small team that we work with who are also excellent, all Australians. And we're working really hard on it. So we love it.
That's incredible. It's fascinating because, like, obviously people would know both of you from, your stage and screen, and then you have this whole other side to your career and what you guys are passionate about. And and like I was saying to you off podcast, I brought a subscription for a friend for a Christmas present, and she loves it. And it was just like, I was like, yeah, why not? Let's give this, let's check it out. I love both of you. I've seen both of you perform, and I was like, I really think this is something that's very useful. And I think that people, you're right, if you need a little kick in the butt sometimes just to get going.
Sometimes you do. That's it. We've got, and in terms of our theatre people, Virginia Gay wrote a really amazing talk called G Up for Your Audition. And so I've used that a couple of times when I've been going to an audition. And it's lovely to have. But yeah, it does have, we've really been able to lean into our theatre backgrounds in terms of we wouldn't have the connections that we have without our theatre backgrounds. It's really helped us sort of get through some doors, but also employ a bunch of amazing playwrights and screenwriters that we have worked with or just really loved to write these pep talks. So we have like Marie Cardy, who's been writing on Heartbreak High and like a million things, and Ben Law, who's obviously written a lot of things, Michelle Law, who's writing loads of plays and she's an incredible screenwriter like Ben, and Wesley Enoch, who's of course incredible in the theatre world and has written some beautiful talks. We have, Virginia Gay has written some talks for us. Zoe Tarakis, who I didn't mention before, is one of our voices as well.
Okay.
And they have just written some talks for us as well, which has been really fantastic. And it will be really special to have them voice some of their talks as well, because they tackle some, being a trans activist and a trans person, they are able to write from a really interesting perspective that's hopefully really useful, because it's been obviously quite a tough time for people who are going through that sort of experience. And so we're hoping that this will just make somebody's day, turn somebody's lemons into lemonade, even if it's just a small glass of lemonade. It's better than nothing. So but it is good. I love listening to the talks myself. Elise and I listen. Well, we edit. She and I, there's quite a rigorous edit process, because it has to go through multiple psychologists, and we focus on sort of solution focused therapy, and we have lots of incredible people. In fact, Ben Gerard, who comes from the theatre world and is an incredible actor themselves, they are a solution focused expert and have done their studies, their Master of Psychology, and so they've given us, they sort of often head up our writers' room. So it's really quite a writers' room that is similar to, like, in the world of particularly TV. I haven't been in many writers' rooms in the theatre world, but I have been in quite a few with the television world. It's great. It's been a wonderful experience.
It's a nice little mesh of both of your worlds, I guess, like doing both of these together, and then, like, sitting in the writers' room as well. I guess something I wanted to ask, the whole concept of the lemons and the lemonade, was that something that just kind of came naturally to both of you, and you're like, this is just perfect, like it just fits, or did it go through a couple of processes?
We did go through a few processes. We were trying to find something that was like a warm greeting, as well as just reminiscent of, like just being sort of a cute take on the turning lemons into lemonade, because Elise and I both we both work towards being positive people who are kind of the pep talkers in our circles of friends and that sort of thing often. And so we were trying to figure out, a catchy way of saying that. So it's been nice. And I think it's sort of bled into our color palette and throughout our branding and that sort of thing. So it's been really nice. We work with Lucy Cochrane, who theatre goers might know as Eddie Perfect's wife, but Lucy is an incredible marketing specialist, and so she's been working on Hey Lemonade for a long time with us as our marketing director. But she'd worked on various marketing campaigns for TripAdvisor and Dare Ice Coffee and Instagram. She's incredible. She used to be on the Gruen transfer. She's incredibly intelligent and just an absolute boss. So we love working with her. And then occasionally we get Eddie popping his head in a Zoom, which is fun as well.
That's amazing. I saw when I was doing my research, you are making this available for schools as well, and how it can work for both teachers and students. Was that something that was kind of the next step for you guys, and wanted to go just beyond just the regular listener?
It sort of yes, but it also, and we do have plans. We sort of have dreams of being able to build out, because the content needs to be really specific, so that we hope that eventually, whatever you might Google as your mental health stresses, we'll have a talk for that. So whatever that is, because we want people to go, oh, if somebody's made a talk for that very specific thing that I'm feeling that's bringing me a bit of pain, then I'm not alone, because somebody else has felt that before. And that's where it came from. It came from, Elise and I feeling overwhelmed by stressful feelings in our own lives, and wanting to just have somebody, sometimes you just want somebody to tell you what to do.
Yeah. All the time.
But the thing, in a pragmatic way. And we actually, it's a bit of a theatrical story. We had bumped into the then education minister at an opening night.
Oh,
and
right.
We were chatting to Sarah Mitchell, who is an incredible woman, and we had been chatting to her about Hey Lemonade, was telling her what we're up to, and she was like, this would be amazing for students, because, we've since done an enormous amount of research that students are, teenagers these days, it's been a long time since I was at school, but, you do remember that there's been quite a lot, like the Reach studies and the Mission Australia studies show that teenagers, there's a huge percentage that are feeling the need. I think over 75% of students are feeling that they do need some sort of support, but most of them feel they don't want to, there are counsellors now in every school in New South Wales, but it's very hard to get the students into the counsellors because there's so many different barriers, and they're worried that they're going to say something that will regret, or they're worried, there's lots of different pressures on them that means that they're just not going in and getting the counselling that they need. So they turn to the internet, but then they're just going to the internet full slather, and you don't know what is psychologically sound or scientifically useful.
For sure.
It's an overload, and they're just going to get whatever, a big wash of anything and everybody's opinions who are quite possibly not informed. So she said, this is a great thing, because all of what we do is there are like lots of different psychological elements that we've put in there that are sound, like breath work, and we have a little bit of CBT, and we have, like I mentioned before, we're really heavily based in our evidence bases in solution focused therapy, and everything, of course, is gone through. We have a couple of children's psychologists on board and a clinical psychologist, and we have wonderful psychologists on board. So everything is really quite rigorous. So it's been great. And then we had the great opportunity to sit down and chat with a bunch of students as to what they need. And there's this incredible group that Sarah had put together called which it was basically 3 students from every directorate of New South Wales, and they were so articulate with what they need. So whilst they might not be able to go and get the support they need, they do know what they need. So we were really felt very privileged to be able to talk to this great group of students, and then we've done significant research since then into what their students are needing and wanting, and now we've built out a new section of talks with some writers that are specific for that section.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations. The more you talk about it, the more I'm getting inspired just listening to it.
Oh, thanks, Justin. That's really nice.
After our first successful Q&A with Purple Tape Productions for Expiration Date, the Theatre Thoughts podcast is proud to be hosting Slanted Theatre's Q&A on Tuesday, the 30th of May at Meraki Arts Bar. Come and ask the cast and crew questions about the production and feature on the podcast. For full tickets and information, head to meraki.sydney now or follow us on our Instagram at ttpod_official.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Building on like what you were saying about the students and the counsellors, there are counsellors in every school, but if you think just how many students have so many overwhelming issues, for like one counsellor is so much to do, and the backlog for them is incredible. So something like this that they can use in the meantime would be highly effective, definitely.
Yeah, and it's bite-sized, so that these days everybody's used to having TikToks and things that are really short. Yeah. So it's sort of right in a fairly sweet spot in terms of length. And we always say we like to be part of a mental health and wellbeing toolkit, because Elise and I are very much for all therapy, and some days you do have an hour or so to go and have a therapy session, and that's amazing. But like you said, there is a backlog of therapists that can be hard to get in. But some days maybe you just need some exercise, and you'll go for a walk. Some days you do want a meditation, so you've got 20 minutes to sit down and do that. But a lot of the days we find we only have like 5 or less minutes to focus on ourselves, as much as we should probably try and find the time. That's realistically what happens. So we always say you can nip out of a meeting, or you can nip out of a scenario for like a few minutes, and people kind of won't notice you're gone. You can go and put your phones in, go into the bathrooms at work or something, and have a list of something just to get you through whatever you're going through, help you pull it together and keep going with your day. So the short, sharp scenario is is useful.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. Well, I wanted to, if you don't mind, talk about your theatre life for a second, because obviously, we have Wicked coming back, and obviously you're in Legally Blonde. And do you see? I don't know. Is this like what you want to do forever? Do you want to do like the Hey Lemonade entrepreneurial path, or do you see yourself, theatre at heart?
Ideally both. Elise and I both always set out to sort of keep doing what we're doing because we love the theatre. Elise is currently in rehearsals as to play Donna in Mamma Mia.
Yeah, yep.
And I start rehearsals in under 3 weeks to play Miss Madrina, which is a sort of fairy godmother kind of character
in
Midnight, the Cinderella musical in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So we both still are working in the theatre and the entertainment industry as well. But yeah, you're right. I mean, this is a lot more work than we had originally anticipated, but we have also been building out our team, and we do really love this, but it does mean we're just working 24/7.
Yeah.
We really, Elise is incredible. She does 10 till 6 in the rehearsal room, and then she'll come home and she'll do another sort of 5 or 6 hours on Hey Lemonade. And, we've just been working around everything that we have in our lives. So it is, I'll often sort of work throughout the day and then go and pick the kids up and sort of sort them out and then get them to bed and then keep working into the night. So we just are all hands on deck. But Elise and I, we both love working, and we're doers. We're both doers, which is, I think we work well together, and we have different pressures and things, but, we just keep. I read a thing the other day that said when you're in a stressful situation, all you need to do is keep making good decisions. They don't have to be perfect decisions, just good decisions. So whenever I get a bit stressed or overwhelmed with the load, that's been something I've been coming back to, which has been a bit helpful.
Yeah, I like that. I feel I wholly resonate with that because I do my day job from I leave the house at 7 and then I come back by 4 and then I do my theatre thought stuff. So yeah, I wholly resonate with that sort of lifestyle for sure.
Yes. It's a lot, but I prefer to be busy.
Oh, same.
As a person,
same.
For better or worse.
Yeah.
That's how I tend to operate. So
yeah, even in my holidays, I'll sit down for 2 days and then I'll get itchy feet. And I'm just I got to do something. I can't just sit down.
Me too. It's I know. I do think we probably both need to get better at relaxing, Justin. But look,
we'll get there eventually.
Totally.
Well, one thing I wanted to ask you one more question before we do our 1 minute theatre thoughts as a wrap up, because I was scrolling through your Instagram and I saw you and Elise were talking about the release of the new CSIRO results, and I wanted to ask what the next stages for Hey Lemonade might be. Do you have any big plans or that you can tell us about, obviously, or just an idea or a concept?
Look, we are going to be doing a special giveaway coming up to celebrate our CSIRO findings. So keep your eyes peeled on our Instagram, our Hey Lemonade Instagram. And that will be coming out in the next sort of week or so. But we're working super hard. We're currently in stage. We've just almost everybody's delivered their first drafts of the high school talks that we've had built out. And so our editors have just sent back feedback and everybody's writing their second drafts, which is exciting, which means we'll be going into record with them once those are finished with some of our voices. And we've actually got, I can't talk about them yet, but a couple of new voices that are joining us that for our high schools program, which we're really excited about. And then it will be time to start building out some more content. We add new content every month to Hey Lemonade. So there's new talks being added, which means, we're keeping on. So if anybody has any pep suggestions, please write to us via our website, because we'd love to build out content that people genuinely want and pep talks that people genuinely need and want. We're just, there's a lot of that. We're working with some corporates as well to provide some pep talks for different corporate arenas. So
great.
If you or your corporation want to come and work with us as well, we do various things where we tailor talks to certain pain points within different businesses as well. So there's quite a few different arms of Hey Lemonade that are keeping us incredibly busy.
Oh, for sure.
Whilst working on the musicals we're working on.
Yeah.
So yes, if you're in Melbourne, come and see us in Midnight, the musical, which is a new Australian musical, which is really exciting as well. That's a benefactor of the Rise funding, I think it's called.
Okay.
Because it's Anthony Costanzo and John Foreman have written the music with a song by Kate Miller-Heidke, and Dean Murphy and Pip Martian have written the script, and it's brand new Australian musical, so it's really exciting.
That's so exciting. Well, I'll make sure to pop in when I post this on Spotify, I'll pop in that people can ask a question. So if they have any questions and they type anything, I'll send it straight to you about pep talks and things like that.
Right.
Well, we'll do our 1 minute theatre thoughts to wrap up. So essentially what I'll do, I got a couple of questions and I'd just like to see like your immediate, like top of the head responses that come off. They're all like sort of theatre related.
Okay, great.
So, yeah.
I'm excited and a bit nervous.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll be fine. We'll get through it together. Okay, here we go. What has been your favourite production you've seen recently?
Oh, And Juliet. I loved And Juliet.
I missed it when I was in Melbourne. I really wanted to see it. So I'm praying
actually,
it comes
tied
to
with, in the same week, I saw And Juliet and it's now finished actually, the Sarah Bernhardt Hamlet at the MTC that Kate Mulvaney starred in, which was absolutely breathtaking. And similar kind of ideas of Shakespeare in both, in new and innovative ways. They were both incredible.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yes. What role haven't you played yet that you'd still want to?
I'd like to play in a television musical dramedy.
Oh, cool. That's a great idea. Finish this sentence. When life gives you lemons...
Just pick up your app and click on Hey Lemonade and we'll give you a pep talk for whatever you need.
Perfect answer. That's the perfect response. And last question was, which production would you most want to see come to Australia?
I'd like to see, I'd like to see Dear Evan Hansen. That would be wonderful. I'd really like to see that. But I mostly do love seeing, new Australian works. I love it when an Australian, like I absolutely loved Muriel's Wedding. I thought that they did the most incredible job. It was one of the best shows I'd seen in such a long time. And it was so exciting that it had been given the time and money to be workshopped to get into such good shape and it was just wonderful. I saw it both the Sydney and the Melbourne seasons and just loved it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, well, awesome. And that's the 1 minute theatre thought. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Great questions.
Thanks so much, Lucy, for jumping on. That was amazing. I'm actually going to go and I think I'm going to go sign up because I feel like I need a pep talk from some amazing people. So, yeah, so I'm going to go sign up for some now.
Thanks, Justin. That's lovely. It's been really nice to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much to Lucy Durack for joining us on this episode of the podcast. To find out more about Hey Lemonade, simply head to heylemonade_official on Instagram or sign up now at heylemonade.com.au. This episode was produced by Echidna Audio. Follow them on Instagram at Echidna Audio for all their audio services. Once again, if you enjoyed our podcast, leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts and head to the link in this episode's description for our Instagram account, TikTok, YouTube and Patreon. My name's Justin Clarke and I'll see you next time here on the Theatre Thoughts podcast.
Have you ever wondered how your favorite performer actually feels? Well, here's your chance. Welcome to The Quiet Part Out Loud with me, Bobby Steggert, Broadway actor and now a therapist to a whole host of Broadway creatives. Part interview, part therapy, this is not your typical podcast. We'll go right to the heart of things with some of your favorite artists, what they still struggle with, what lessons they've learned, what they haven't figured out yet. There's enormous power in saying the quiet part out loud. Are you listening?
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.